Mouseketeers, and welcome to Mondays with Mickey. My name is Mike Knigge and I am your host. And this week we will be talking about All-Star Movies Resort, a resort overview as well as a small review from our trip back in 2011. But before I get into that, I'd like to apologize to the viewers who were looking forward to this particular episode last week. I had a family emergency in which two of my family members, very close to me, were in the hospital. They've both been moved to physical rehab, so they're definitely getting better. But with everything that was going on last week, I decided family took precedence and I went ahead and postponed this episode. I am truly sorry that we couldn't do one last week. I was just too tied up. But we are back this week and we're back on track, starting with the episode I planned for last week, this overview and review. But before we get into that, I of course have some news. A little older but still valid news. I'm going to start off with Magic Bands. They've decided to do an update. For those who have been going frequently, they know that every time you book a trip, you get a new band. And if you pick, say you have multiple trips where maybe you're starting off at one resort and going to another resort, you got two bands because they look at it like it's two trips. What they've done now is they've given people returning to Disney World, Walt Disney World to be specific, they've given you the option of choosing not to get a new band. So you can go ahead and reuse the band you have. People can have multiple bands on their account, and sometimes that gets confusing during check-in, particularly with the resorts. So this system will allow you to elect to use the band you currently have. Also, if you were going to multiple resorts in one trip, now even if, say you don't have a band and you're going to get your first band, now they're only going to send you one band for the entire trip because they're linking the system. They're trying to not to waste so much money on bands. And also people do special things with their bands. They decorate them. I've seen paint jobs on them. I've seen skins put over them. Some people really like their band and want to keep using it. So they're giving options to those people. The other piece of news is coming up in August 14th through the 16th, D23. This is where Disney announces all of its major things that they're doing for the upcoming year. One thing to expect is the plans for Hollywood Studios. So that's going to be really exciting. There's going to be a preview of Avatar Land there at D23, the big area at Disney's Animal Kingdom that they're currently bulldozing and rebuilding. It used to be Camp Mini Mickey. They're going to have a preview of that. They're of course going to have a preview of Disneyland Shanghai. So D23 this year is going to be kind of cool. A lot of unveiling of things that are coming soon. So if you're a D23 member and you're close by or you can make it happen, I recommend checking it out. As I get more details, obviously I'm going to give them to you for those who can't go. So keep your eyes and ears peeled. Lots of information coming soon, particularly in those couple weeks in August. Well, but now that we've gotten through the news, I'm a little tongue-tied this evening, I apologize. Now that we've gotten through the news, we're going to go ahead and start on this Disney All-Star Movies Resort overview and review. But before I start, I know I keep saying before this or before that, I have another slideshow for you guys. Pictures from our trip in 2011, kind of showcasing what's going on in the resort. Most of them are mine, but I did get a few offline that aren't mine, like resort maps, things of that nature, just to kind of fill in so you can have a broader picture of the resorts. Obviously, when I took the pictures when we were down there, it was long before Mondays with Mickey. We're talking 4 years ago. So I wasn't thinking, oh wow, I'm going to need these pictures for a show, half a decade from now. So like I said, I went online, I picked up a few extra pictures that I didn't take personally. You should be able to tell what's what. So without further ado, enjoy it and we'll be right back. Alright, well, those were the pictures we took. I hope you guys got a good idea of what the resort is like. Hope it inspired you to say, hey, I want to know more about it, because we're getting ready to go through it. I'm going to do a quick overview of the resort itself, some of the amenities, how it's laid out, things of that nature, and then I'm going to give a kind of a review of my personal thoughts and our experiences at Disney's All-Star Movies Resort. Starting with the walkthrough. Alright, so you come into the lobby. On your right-hand side, when you walk into the lobby, you have the check-in desks. Now, there's a starry look to the whole lobby. On the left-hand side, there's a video screen. That video screen is for kids waiting while their parents are checking in, or if people are just waiting to go do something. It's always playing Disney movies, so you can go sit down and watch Disney movies. Now, if you've ever been to an all-star resort, all the all-star resorts are pretty much set up the same. They're value resorts for Walt Disney World, meaning they're the most cost-effective resorts for Walt Disney World. The all-stars make up the bulk of the value resorts section of Walt Disney World. Of course, there's Pop Century and Art of Animation, but they're newer and they're a little more expensive. The all-star resorts are very similar, but themed differently. So the amenities are going to be pretty much the same. The setups are very much the same. They're just dressed up differently. So walking through, it's pretty much your standard all-star resorts lobby. At the far end of the lobby, you'll have a wall. It has pictures of, famous movie stars, Walt Disney, things of that nature. So you walk down through the lobby. At the far end of the lobby, on your left-hand side, is going to be the gift shop. There it's called Donald's Double Feature. It's their gift shop, filled with a lot of really cool stuff. My son got his Pirates of the Caribbean Mater car there, which he loves. Our scrapbook we got from there this past year. Or not past trip, rather. So, you have a broad variety of things. Also, right there on the left, next to the gift shop, is the exit out to where the buses pick you up to take you to the different parks. So it's right there. If you turn right and go down that wall that has all those pictures, on your left-hand side, you have the food court, which is the world premiere food court. On your right, you have their arcade. It's the Real Fun Arcade. But the arcade is pretty standard arcade. Lots of games. They've taken all the prize type stuff out because of Florida law. But it's a fun arcade. It's not huge, but it's fun. On your left, in that food court, I'm going to go into a little bit of the kinds of things they sell there. It's a fairly large food court. There's lots of TVs showing Disney cartoons and things of that nature. They've got their soda fountains. You can, get your refillable mugs and refill them there. It's set up into multiple stations. There's like a bakery station, a protein station, a pasta station, you get salads, sandwiches, and things of that nature. But it's a lot, it's set up at almost like a market where there's different options. There's like cold refrigerator doors where you can get grab-and-go sandwiches, bottled drinks, stuff like that. They're available breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there's a late-night menu. The breakfast menu are basic items like eggs, omelets, waffles, pancakes, cinnamon rolls, etc. Lunch, you're seeing mainly sandwiches, pizzas, pastas, proteins kind of like chickens and maybe some steak, salads. But when you get into dinner, you get that lunch menu. You also get serious proteins like salmon, shrimp creole, mahi-mahi, turkey, steak. Broader variety major meal items. Plus all the lunch meal items. Plus all the cold stuff. And one thing to remember is this food court area is definitely a quick service food area. So even though you're getting some of these center plate items like mahi and salmon and steak, it's quick service. You're going up to the counter, you're ordering, taking it back to your own table. There's no server involved. So you're getting some serious food for your buck. Plus they have all the snack stations. So you get your Mickey Rice Krispie bar or things of that nature. They have hand-scooped ice cream, stuff like that. The late night menu runs till about 12 midnight. It's mainly sandwich, stuff, and pizza. Another option that comes out of that food court is the pizza delivery service. You can order, have them deliver pizzas to your room through the food court. You can do that either at the food court, or you can do it, via the phone. You can call up room service and say, hey, I'd like to get a pizza. So, some options on the food. Once you go through the food court, now you can either come out of the food court through the doors, or you can go back out to that hallway where all the pictures are and everything. You can go out the door there. So several options to go out from the food area. Is the pool area. Now the pool area, there is the Silver Screen Spirits. It's actually kind of double-sided. You can see the back side of Silver Screen Spirits inside the food court, and then of course out front is the full size of it. What Silver Screen Spirits is it's a poolside bar. You can get some food there at the counter. You can order it there. It's mainly drinks. So if you're hanging out right there, because it's right, the main pool is right out those doors, you can have a couple drinks and go out to the pool. So right out in front of the doors is the Fantasia pool. Okay. Flanked on either side of the pool is the Fantasia buildings. Now, at all the All-Star resorts for that matter, each building you're staying in is themed after something. At this resort, these buildings are themed after movies. So you've got Fantasia, Toy Story, Herbie, Mighty Ducks, stuff of that nature. So when you first come out this door, the main pool and pretty much the premium hotel room, which, in the All-Stars, the way that works is your premium, because you have your standard and your premium rooms. Your premium rooms are closer to the front door, pretty much. So you come out and you have the pool, the Fantasia pool, which has Sorcerer Mickey. He's pointing up in the air and shooting water out all over the pool, which I'm sure you guys saw the pictures of. And then you have flanked on either side of the big Fantasia pool are the Fantasia buildings. They're decorated with the giant mops from Fantasia when Sorcerer Mickey was trying to cheat and clean the castle or magician's circle room, or whatever you want to call it, trying to cheat and clean it easier. So you've got that right when you walk out the door. Now, if you're going to stay there later in the evening, one of the amenities they offer is Movies Under the Stars. And right behind that pool, they put up the big screen, and every night they show a Disney film. You'd have to look at, it changes up daily, so you'd have to find out what the current movies are going to be shown, but they do show up different movies each night. So that way, if you don't have anything to do, like maybe it was an Animal Kingdom day, you don't want to go to downtown Disney, you don't have time with the kids, hit the pool and then maybe check out the movie afterwards. Maybe get a pizza delivery and take a pizza out and eat some pizza, watch a movie. So you've got the Fantasia building, the Fantasia pool. Behind the Fantasia buildings is the, I apologize, I need to check my notes because I want to make sure I don't mess this up. Behind the Fantasia building is the Love Bug buildings. So it's a little bit farther back, but not too far. So you've got your two buildings there, and then you got the Love Bug section behind it. Themed after Herbie the Love Bug. I shouldn't have to say too much to the older crowd what that's all about. Kids, if you don't know what Herbie the Love Bug is, go on YouTube, look up Herbie, or look up the Love Bug. It's a Volkswagen bug. Pretty self-explanatory. Check it out. I know the younger crowd probably doesn't know Herbie, but the adults, we know who Herbie is. So, that said, to your left, or would be my left in this case, you have your Toy Story buildings. Of course, themed after Toy Story. You saw a lot of pictures of Toy Story because that's where we stayed. Stairwells are covered up by Army Men buckets. You got Army Men up on the top of the building. You got a gigantic Buzz, a gigantic Woody. You've got RC out in the middle of what looks like roadways between the buildings, so you can get in, take pictures with the RC. You've got Andy, a giant door that says Andy's room, keep out except for Molly. Really cool themed. It's technically a premium room because it's still right there next to the main entrance. It's just to your left instead of straight in front of you. A little farther away from Fantasia Pool, but not bad. To your right, just past Fantasia on your right, is the Dalmatian buildings. Need I say more? It's based off the 101 Dalmatians. So you've got dogs running, the Dalmatian dogs, puppies, running across the front of the rooms, all themed around Pongo and his pride of pups. Okay, behind that, if you continue going through the Dalmatians, on the far side of that is the Mighty Ducks. Now, because that's really far away, the Mighty Ducks has its own pool. It's called the Duck Pond. Everything themed after Mighty Ducks. They have a giant scoreboard with the time on it. It's supposed to look like you got some hockey going on. They've got restrooms back there and lockers and such. They've got the laundry facilities there. It's themed to look like a Ducks locker room. It's got behind the locker doors you can see masks and hockey sticks and things like that. It's kind of cool. It's a secondary pool area with those rooms, just because it is a little farther away from that main entrance, a little farther away from the main pool. So if you're just wanting to go out for a quick swim, you don't have to hike all the way to the other side of the resort to get there. So you've got that. Now, like I said, they've got their laundry facilities. There is laundry facilities over by the Fantasia pool. It's tucked kind of halfway between Toy Story and the pool itself. So pretty easy to find, but still very close to the pool. I imagine they put it there with the thought process. People are going to be running laundry while they're hanging out at the pool, so they don't have to make multiple trips. So that's there. Resort amenities, things that they have. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, Movies Under the Stars, really cool option if you got the extra time to do that. They've got jogging trails, the laundry facilities, things of that nature. Not a ton, not like your moderates or your deluxes, but still nice things to have and nice things to know about. Some of the rooms have refrigerators. Now, I've heard that they've upgraded, and most of the rooms have refrigerators now. I don't know that for certain, so don't quote me on it. But that's always an option too, and an amenity you can ask for. So they offer some options. The rooms themselves are a continued theme of where you're at. The room we stayed in had the Buzz Lightyear literally Toy Story movie poster. So Buzz and Woody looked like they're kind of flying up. It's a scene from the movie. The room itself, the patterns on the beds, kind of themed after it. They have the standard all-star star lights over the beds. Disney movies and cartoons on TV all day long. There are a few options for channels, not many. That said, one of the channels is 24/7 non-stop Disney cartoons. I know it's 24/7 because my son stayed up 24/7 watching these things, pretty much. If we were in the room, that TV was on, set to the Disney cartoons. Now, it cycles. It's a program. It runs over and over and over again. So you will watch the same things over and over and over again after a while. But it runs constantly. And it's like classic Disney cartoons. Very old. Steamboat Willie, things like that nature. Really cool from an adult perspective because some of these things we grew up on. Also really cool because it gave my kids a chance to see some of these things. So that's an option on the TV. They do special in-room things. The janitorial staff likes to surprise guests. So one of the things, I've shown Towel Dog in the past through pictures. Meant to have him with me today, but I don't have him with me right now. Towel Dog is a dog made out of a towel. And they used a couple rubber bands, put some eyes and a nose on it, and used little frilly twist tie things to make a collar and ears. And they took a towel and had basically a towel pet sitting on our bed waiting for us. They also do Mickey ears on beds. It changes up daily. If you have kids and you have toys and stuff laying out, what they will do sometimes, and like pillow pets and things like that, they will put them in the window and have them all lined up evenly in the window to look like they're waiting for you to come home. Because it's Toy Story. The idea is Toy Story. Toys come to life when you're not there. So they line them up in the window like they're waiting for you. That's one of the things they do. They put these little cute nuances into it so that you have a little surprise when you come back to your room. I mean, they're not really giving you anything special, but it's just that extra touch of magic that makes it a lot of fun. Towel Dog came home with us because I was like, that is just too cool. He's coming home. No one undoes him to use him. We'll use another towel. He came home with us. Daily room service for the most part. There were a couple days where they didn't for us, but it wasn't overly necessary the days they didn't. So, but they will offer daily room service, replenishing things like shampoos, soaps, towels, straightening up the beds, picking up and stuff like that. If there's a bad experience, like someone gets sick in your room, clean that kind of stuff up, and so on. Let's see. Typically they have 2 double beds. As I said, there's a larger bed option, but typically it's a 2 double bed room. Ours was a 2 double bed because obviously we had 4 of us. Not super comfortable. It's an all-star resort. It's not a moderate or a deluxe, but it was fine. It was definitely understandable and cool. The rooms have a safe. All the rooms come with a safe. It's not huge, but it's big enough to put things like a wallet in there if you need to. I believe I put my camera in there a couple days while we were there last time. I think I put my laptop in there, stuff like that. Decent sized dresser for those who like to unpack and put them into dressers. If you like to do it straight out of your suitcase, that's fine too, but the dressers are there. It's an option. There's a table and chairs, so you don't necessarily have to sit on your bed. Of course, you have an alarm clock, radio, phone. Pretty standard stuff in a hotel room. It's a very standard hotel room overall, compared to resorts and hotels and motels and things of that nature outside of Disney World in your own hometown. It's very, very standard. It's supposed to be. It's a value resort. It's not supposed to be Disney's best. That said, it's themed very well. It definitely makes the theming and the atmosphere and the magic make up for the fact that it lacks in the grandeur of something like the Grand Floridian. It makes up for it in those ways. So, overall feeling of this resort, I like it. Okay, I've said before, yes, it doesn't have all the amenities of some of the moderates and the deluxe resorts, but I like it. It's extremely family friendly. I have a family. It's important. But even if I didn't have my kids there, I would love it because you are immersed in the atmosphere. One of the things that the larger resorts, the more specialized resorts like Grand Floridian, tend to lose is the magic. Yes, they have elegance and grandeur and blow you off your socks, but they're not strongly Disney. They are. I mean, they have their own themes of Disney, and there's little touches of magic all over. I'm not downing them. But the degree of theming, Disney theming, if you're wanting to be immersed in the Disney culture, the All-Star Resorts are awesome at it. Because they are exactly that. You're immersed in Disney. You feel like you never leave the parks. You feel like you're sleeping at one of the parks. So, for me, the All-Star Resort, specifically the All-Star movies, has been my favorite. Absolutely love them. I would happily go back over and over and over again. Now, my wife and I, we might stay at something more grandiose. We might stay at Port Orleans. Port Orleans has an amazing following. A lot of people love it. We might one day stay at the Contemporary, considering how unique and special that is to Walt Disney World. But I think in the end, my love is still going to be the All-Star Resorts. So my personal feeling on this matter is yes, the All-Star Resorts are a fantastic resort to stay at. Not only are they cost effective, but they are themed very, very, very well. And if you're just looking for a place to stay overnight to sleep and then go back to the parks, it's definitely well worth it. You still get the atmosphere of being on site. You still get all the benefits and the amenities of being on site, but you're not spending as much as you would at one of the other ones. So, off that topic for now. I hope you guys got kind of a general idea of what what that resort's like. I know I'm probably a little discombobulated. I'm still getting things back together from everything that's gone on for the past week, so I do apologize for that. But if you have any more questions about how it's laid out or what kinds of things you can do with that resort, feel free to send me a message. I can certainly type something out a little more concise and detailed for you. Also, look online. Look at a walkthrough of All-Star movies. There's tons of them on YouTube. check them out for yourself. It really is a cool resort. One of the things I forgot to mention is in the food court, they have a penny press for those who like to collect pennies. They also, at least when we were there, they had a caricature station. Now, the artist wasn't on duty at all times, but they had times posted where you can go get a caricature of yourself made. So, again, more theming things and more fun things that they do to help make somebody's experience more magical. So, again, I'm going to get off this horse. If there's anything I can help you guys with, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask, leave a comment in the notes, or send me a message. That's what I'm here for. So, this week's question is favorite prince. Now, this one was hard for me because the princes have never really done anything for me. Okay? You know, I liked the characters from Mulan. I've liked characters from tons of movies, but generally they're not princes. So for me, in this one, I'm going with Charming, Prince Charming, but not the traditional Prince Charming. I'm going with Prince Charming from Once Upon a Time. I like him because in that version of the story, he's not this all-powerful, idyllic prince. He started from humble origins. And him becoming prince wasn't necessarily the cleanest process. He has more of a foot in reality. He's more grounded than any of the other princes, in my personal opinion. So I'm a big fan of the prince from Prince Charming from Once Upon a Time. Who's your favorite prince? Again, leave it in the comments. Send me a message. I'd like to know who's your favorite prince. Next week we're going to talk about Disney Infinity 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. The 3 games. Well, 2 of them are already out, 1's coming, 4th coming, 3.0. And when I say we will be talking about it, my son Franklin will be here to help me. We're going to have all of his Disney Infinity characters out, and he's going to help me talk about some of the characters, talk about the games, how it plays, and give you kind of an overview of what it's like. Kids, an overview for you to say, hey, whether I like this game or not. Parents, because it is a buying individual figures along with the game type situation, it tends to be confusing. There's a lot of little things you can buy for this game that, for a lot of parents, my wife works for Toys R Us, she's constantly explaining how this game works, what you need to play, what's worth buying, what isn't worth buying, things like that. So, my son Franklin and I next week will sit down and try to explain this complicated mess that is Disney Infinity. It's lots of fun. When I say mess, make sure you understand. It's a lot of fun. We play it. We love it. So, it's going to be fun. We're going to talk about it next week. So I will leave you as I leave you every week. Walt has said it best. I only hope we never lose sight of one thing. This was all started by a mouse. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.